Criminal justice system manufactures displacement. How we can reverse it: the conveyor belt into marginalization stage. What happens, why it produces displaced people, key data over policing and pretext stops. Low-level traffic, or suspicious person, stops that escalate into arrests, e.g., loose pills misidentified as narcotics. Vehicle impound fees, days in jail waiting for arraignment, job loss, eviction. 70% of people in local jails are only awaiting trial, not convicted. Median felony bail, $10,000, well above the annual income of many arrestees. Prison policy initiative: civil asset forfeiture, property, cash, cars, seized on suspicion, before trial. Owners must sue to regain it. Loss of transport or savings means lost employment and housing instability. Federal forfeiture inventory regularly tops $800 million per year. Justice: private prison occupancy quotas, contracts lock states into 80 to 90% bed fill, mandates or pay penalties. Financial pressure on agencies to keep cells full, discouraging decarceration. CCA's template contract sought 90% occupancy for 20 years. Many states signed similar deals. In the public interest: fines, fees, and AMP, probation traps, courts levy user fees, probation charges, and surcharges. Failure to pay becomes a new crime. Poverty turns into technical violation, arrests, deeper debt, prolonged supervision. In Georgia, 3/4 of misdemeanor probationers fell into arrears despite a 1983 SCOTUS ban on jailing people solely for poverty. Georgia Budget and Policy Institute: untreated addiction and AMP, mental illness jails serve as default detox and psych wards. Cycling in and out compounds trauma and homelessness. Los Angeles, rapid diversion, kept thousands out of jail for $6.7 million per year. Recidivism and homelessness dropped. These overlapping systems create a feedback loop. Arrest, right pointing arrow; detention, right pointing arrow; debt, right pointing arrow; job, housing loss, right pointing arrow; re-arrest for poverty-related offenses. The result is a caste of Americans functionally excluded from full civic life. Constitutional tensions: color of law versus rule of law; probable cause shortcuts. Pretextual stops and canine sniffs: stretch Terry versus Ohio standards, especially when officers rely on vague, odor, or furtive movement claims. Due process gaps. Asset forfeiture hearings are civil, so no public defender is guaranteed. The burden of proof flips onto the owner. Equal protection gaps. Black Americans make up 13% of the population but 43% of the pre-trial jail population, reflecting disparate policing and bail-setting practices. Prison Policy Initiative. The current White House directive, ordering agencies to purge rules that conflict with constitutional guarantees, could ripple down to states because federal criminal justice grants, burn JAG, Medicaid jail detainee waivers, etc., increasingly require civil rights compliance. Expect counties to revisit bail schedules, search policies, and forfeiture practices to keep funding streams. 3. 10 evidence-based cures reform mechanism: why it works. End minimum occupancy clauses. Ban quota language in new prison contracts and renegotiate existing deals. Removes financial incentive to over-incarcerate. Several states, for example, Colorado, have already legislated this. Tie forfeiture to conviction. Require a criminal conviction before permanent forfeiture. Direct proceeds to legal aid funds, not police coffers. Discourages policing for profit and funds defense for indigent owners. Universal cite and release for low-level offenses. Make summons the default for misdemeanors and traffic infractions. Keeps people working and housed, cutting jail costs immediately. Cash bail replacement. Use validated risk assessments and non-monetary conditions, text reminders, check-ins. Jurisdictions that abolished money bail saw no rise in missed court rates. Saves $13.6 billion annually. Prison Policy Initiative automatic record restriction, expungement. Clean slate, algorithms seal eligible cases without paperwork. Pennsylvania's model processed 40 M cases, boosting employment and wages statewide. Fee and fine forgiveness for indigents. Courts must hold ability to pay hearings, cap total debt. Prevents technical violation jailings banned by SCOTUS yet still common in practice. Mental health and AMP, addiction diversion. Expand rapid diversion docks inside arraignment court, fund treatment slots. RAND study. Participants had lower rearrest rates and cost less than jail. Harm reduction legalization. Decriminalize fentanyl test strips and AMP, syringe exchange. Embed Narcan in transit hubs. CDC credits harm reduction plus treatment scale up for a 16.9% drop in overdose deaths, July 2023 to July 2024. The White House Houston Chronicle housing first re-entry. Guarantee 6-month rental vouchers and ID reinstatement for anyone exiting jail and GT, 14 days. Stable housing reduces recidivism by up to 20%. Shift funding metrics. Pay counties for documented reductions in recidivism, homelessness, and AMP, or visits, not bodies in beds. Aligns incentives with public safety outcomes rather than incarceration volume. 4. Linking federal, state, and local levers grant eligibility audits. DOJ, HHS, and HUD can condition funds on ending unconstitutional practices, e.g., debtors' prison probation. Model legislation toolkits. A national, constitutional compliance codex can provide states with template bills on bail, forfeiture, quotas, and clean slate automation. Data transparency mandates. Require every county to post monthly dashboards on arrests, bail, jail occupancy, overdoses, and diversion outcomes, enabling watchdogs to spot rights violations quickly. 5. A roadmap to restoration short-term, 6 to 12-month enact cite and release, pilot diversion courts, pass test strip decriminalization. Mid-term, 1 to 3 years. Sunset occupancy clauses, roll out automatic record restriction, convert empty jail wings into treatment beds. Long-term, 3 to 5 years. Replace money bail statewide, reinvest billions saved in community mental health clinics, vocational apprenticeships, and permanent supportive housing. Restoring full citizenship to the millions harmed by over-criminalization is not charity. It is a constitutional obligation and an economic multiplier. When we trade court debt and cage quotas for due process and treatment, we turn displaced people back into neighbors, workers, and taxpayers. Bottom line: a safer, freer society costs less, and honors the promise that rights belong to all, not just the unaccused. Global Robotics Corporation.